I want to introduce our first speaker today, and is in the person of Mr. Tosin Tomori. Mr. Tomori is Vice President of Operations at Cummins, and he works out of Atlanta, Georgia, United States of America. Mr. Tomori has been with Cummins for 18 years. Prior to coming to this position, he has held a number of positions in Cummins, including the Managing Directorship for West Africa, which includes Nigeria. Tosin Tomori has bachelor's and master's in mechanical engineering from Georgia Tech and an MBA from Indiana. He will be addressing us on the topic, the West African young engineer, opportunities outside emigration. We believe his extensive experience in and out of Africa makes him a strong person to tackle this topic. He has immense belief and interest in the future of the nation Nigeria, the West African region, and their resourceful youth. He aligns perfectly with S2P's desire to bring Africa out of near irrelevancy and take her place on the world stage. Mr. Tomori, you are welcome to present your address to this S2P Africa's information session. Thank you.
Harold, I will be talking about the West African engineer and opportunities outside of immigration. But before we go into that conversation, I don't know if any one of you knows what happened to Andrew. I know most of you, this may be a little strange, especially if you are born after a certain time, but I'm giving everyone an assignment. For those who don't know who Andrew is, go and Google Andrew, no checkout, and look up some YouTube videos. You'll find some really interesting stuff. Since we're talking about immigration and moving around, I do want to introduce myself and talk about the places that shaped me. And then I'll go directly into the personal case study that my experience, and then talk about how to take advantage of some of the opportunities. So the places that shaped me, I know Prof already mentioned some of this. He talked about I went to Georgia Tech. I spent some time in Indiana. But I think it's important to highlight, my dad is a university professor, University of Ibadan. So I did ISI, staff school, even started in UI. So the foundation of my life is really based in Ibadan, University of Ibadan. A lot of my work ethic, my attitude towards knowledge and learning was formed there. I moved to Atlanta after a few years of ASU strikes, and went to Georgia Tech, where I did my undergraduate and my master's in engineering. And that was really my first time as an adult in the world on my own. And again, that formed a lot of my attitude. But the foundation I had from Nigeria really carried me through that. I moved to Columbus, Indiana when I joined Cummins and was there for 7 years. Again, that was the beginning of my professional career and the basis for a lot of the knowledge I have today. Then I moved to South Africa, where I ran one of our businesses for Cummins in South Africa before I was asked to move to Nigeria, Lagos, and run our Cummins West Africa Limited, which was our Nigerian joint venture based in Nigeria. And when that assignment ended, I moved back to Atlanta, where I currently am. So again, I've just highlight, I've moved around, I've lived in different places, worked in different places, and and that is the perspective with which I'm coming to. I'm speaking. And with that being said, I mentioned I was going to talk about a personal case study, and the personal case study is really about my time in Cummins West Africa. And I'm framing it in a very narrow way. When I arrived in Nigeria to lead the Cummins West Africa business, I was taken over from an expatriate. He was an American, and everybody else in a key leadership position was an expatriate. There were no women. So all expats, with the exception of me. Even I had many Nigerians question how they would bring a Nigerian to come and run an organization that was led by expats. But that's a conversation for another day. When I left, until today, even after, and I was actually back home not too long ago, the fortunes have changed. It's primarily Nigerian. We have 5 Nigerians and 1 expat now, which was a complete reversal from what we did or what we had when I arrived in 2011. And more importantly, even importantly, because you hear about women and engineering and things like that, is we don't have now have one woman who is actually running our manufacturing business. She runs the manufacturing facility. For me, this just illustrates the fact that, hey, we do have opportunities for engineers, male and female, Nigerians, local. And I know this is for West Africa. This conversation is for West Africa, not just Nigeria. But again, I said I'm using this my personal case study. So if you go around and look at other multinationals or even other local companies where they are being run by expats, you find out that when they're qualified Nigerians, the opportunities abound. So it goes on to, how did we do it? Number one, there was really three things. Number one was leadership by locals was a company strategy, and we committed to it. We said, hey, we're bringing Tosin in, he's a Nigerian, and when he leaves, we want to ensure that we fill the leadership with Nigerians. And we committed to it, and that became our mantra. We recruited at all levels to create a talent pipeline, a pipeline of talent. And this included proactively searching for talent that would succeed me. So when I was there, I was actually looking for people that were good enough or even better that would succeed me and at different levels of the organization. Not only that, we focused on partnering with a local organization. In this case, it was IIT. And what we did was we came up with a training program to start developing talent right from secondary school. We built a curriculum, we created training opportunities. And so what ended up happening was we have now a pipeline from entry level all the way through the leadership. We can continue to fill our leadership position and key positions in organization with local people. And then throughout all that, the third thing, we were committed to developing people. So we didn't just bring in people that were good. We brought in good people and made them better. And then even for the people that were already in the organization, we transformed them. Our diamonds in the rough, we spent a lot of time, money, effort to transform them and make them even better than they were today. And that was really the journey of my time in Nigeria. Now, moving on to the opportunities, I use this picture is very illustrative, and I know I was thinking of something that will resonate with many people. The picture, the young man in the picture, his name is Fikayo, and I said opportunities abound, but you need to be well positioned. Everybody knows Ronaldo. He's great soccer player. This young man positioned himself. He took the ball from Ronaldo, or he seized the opportunity because of his positioning. Now, there is obviously the situational positioning where he ran there and was in the right place at the right time. But it took him many years to get to this position where he could actually take the ball away from Ronaldo. And that's really what I want to talk about for the next 2 or 3 minutes. How do I get well positioned? And again, this is geared towards the people that are listening, the young engineers that are listening to me right now. Number one thing is you have to acquire knowledge the right way. Most of the people I hired, if not, in fact, all the people I hired or were hired in Cummins were not hired because they were Nigerians. They were hired because they were people that had knowledge that we needed in the organization. And I also put the right way because, and I'll tell you this, this is from my personal experience. I did JAMB in Nigeria in 1993. And I remember vividly the morning I did my JAMB, there was a group of young men, many of them I knew, who are writing stuff in their log tables. And when I say, hey, what are you guys doing? They said they're writing the answers. They had Orijo for the exam. And so they were writing the answers in their book. Obviously, they didn't have the right answers because the following year when I entered UI, none of them were in UI with me. But the point I'm trying to make here is there are too many people that have degrees today that don't have any knowledge because they got it the wrong way. They paid for their degrees. They paid the lecturer to give them a score. They had somebody do their exams. And so there is no substitute for acquiring knowledge yourself. Also tied to acquiring knowledge is putting in the work to develop your skills. It's one thing to acquire knowledge, but you also have to develop those skills. And that is what differentiates you and sets you apart from the next person. You often wonder why, and this could be controversial. You see people who are really almost like utility men in foreign countries coming to Nigeria and being given critical work. Well, because those people have really honed their skills and learn. They may not have a degree, but they've perfected the skills they have. And until we get to that level where we're perfecting our skill and actually working our skills out, it limits your opportunities. And then finally, you need to exercise patience. What does that mean? Oftentimes, and I hear this a lot, people believe in overnight successes. You know, you see people that hammer overnight and you all want to be like them. There is no overnight hammering. Even as much as I hate to use this as an example, even Yahoo boys don't hammer overnight. They work hard, they hustle for a long time before you see their hammering. And so the important thing is there are no overnight successes. You have to work hard. But at the same time, as you're doing so, you also have to shine your eye, as you say. There are opportunities out there. You have to keep your eyes open to seize them, because every now and then those opportunities come by, but they don't always come by all the time. But it's important that you shine your eye and recognize them so you can take advantage of them. But in all things, you know, all three things I mentioned, there's an underlying message of integrity, doing things the right way, not using shortcuts or trying to do things quicker and faster than they should be.